Hi, it's Simmer Hills and welcome to the next episode of Building Newcrest. Today we're building a tree house, so it's something a little bit different and I was looking forward to this one just because I think I've only ever built one other tree house in The Sims 4 and it's got its own challenges, obviously with the limitations of The Sims 4. Like half walls for a tree house would be fantastic just because it would make it easier to line it up. But anyway, here's the challenge. Build a tree house, 2 floors, 40 by 20 lot. A couple with a newborn, they love clowns and fishing, they're afraid of fencing, they want a splash pad, and the budget is 45,819 simoleons. I didn't stick to all of this. Because it was a treehouse, I thought, how can I do a treehouse without fencing? And I just couldn't figure out a way not to use fencing. So that one's kind of out of the window. And I forgot about the splash pad, to be honest. So yeah, I didn't stick to this one fully, but the challenge did give me the idea for this build, so I've got to be grateful for that. I did stick to the budget, and the 2 floors and the lot size. So yeah, I think the main gist of it was stuck to, but yeah, obviously it didn't manage to stick to this one completely. But I just thought it would have looked really odd building this. I mean, I suppose I could have done it with half walls, but I just think for a tree house, the fencing just looks more realistic. You wouldn't really build walls around a tree house. So, yeah, I didn't think it would have looked as good with half walls. So anyway, we went for fencing. And this is the start of the build, so we've got a little platform going up, but I've only counted the 2 floors because this isn't really used for anything. It's just more of a decorative feature to get up to where they live. So the living place is, they've got the downstairs floor and then the upstairs floor. It's a bit of a zigzag build, but I was trying to work around where the trees were in the lot. So like you would have to in real life. So if you're building a tree house, you've got to obviously work with what you've got around you. So I tried to do that in this build as well, and not move the trees too much. And we've tried to give it a real rustic feel in this one. The tree house will be built above a lake, so it's a very nature inspired build. And I just thought with a tree house, let's just go whole hog and try and make it as outdoorsy as possible. So the family who live here, because it had to be a couple with a newborn, we have Lennox, who's the father, so it's Lennox Brooks. He wants to be a freelance botanist. He loves the outdoors, he's family orientated and cheerful. And his wife is Talia Brooks. She's an outdoor enthusiast and wants to be a collector. She's a green friend, loves the outdoors and a maker, and they've got a close, wholesome relationship. And their son is Lyndon Brooks. He's a very cute little toddler with glasses. You can't really add a newborn, I don't think, in Create a Sim. So when it's been a newborn, I've created a toddler, but I think there's more you can do with toddlers anyway. So a newborn's just an object, isn't it? So I've done it that way anyway. And he's a calm toddler, so I think he will fit in with this little family dynamic of wholesome relationship. Because they're quite outdoorsy, like the whole vibe is being outdoors, a lot of the activities are actually outside. So I wanted the house to be just a basic, it's where you lay your head, but really all of your fun and needs, they're going to be met from going outside. And especially if they've got the loves outdoors trait, if they're inside too much, they'll get negative emotions from that. So hopefully that all makes sense. And the family and the build will be on my gallery, Simmer Hills. So onto the build itself, you can kind of see the shells coming together. We've got the structure of the building now. So you've got a bit of a bigger downstairs, and then the upstairs is 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. There's a balcony off the parents' bedroom, and I think that just it is, again, because they love the outdoors, it's got a link to the outside. Rather than put a door, I've put these open doors. So it's actually an archway, but it looks like open doors. But I think then they're all, I think if you love the outdoors, you're going to want that breeze anyway. So we've gone with that. And I think it ends up being a yoga mat or something out there, but there's activities, as many outdoor places as I could get them, just so that they're gonna fulfill that outdoors need. Obviously weather could be an issue here, I'm not sure. I think in Newcrest it does tend to rain a lot, so I have put some things under cover though, so hopefully if they're undercover, I'm not really sure how that works, but even if you're outside and undercover, hopefully you don't get negative emotions by the rain. I'm not 100% sure how that works. If you do know, you can always leave a comment. So we've got the lake in place. I know it looks a bit janky at the minute, but we're going to landscape it and try and make it look natural. This fence doesn't stay. I was just trying some things out, but it doesn't stay like that. So a lot of the landscaping, because the budget wasn't huge, a lot of the landscaping had to be done by debug landscaping, which the quality is not always as good with the debug items, but there's enough that you can kind of get some detail in there and then use a few of the plants if you need to. The lower your budget, obviously the more debug items you need to really use, just so it looks fuller, because otherwise it will look a really plain lot. And then I've tried to use like wooden items in the bathroom. So we've got the shower, the wooden sink. I think the toilet, we end up going for a wooden toilet as well. I think that one you have to use some of the cheats to unhide it. It wasn't there originally. So not all the wood matches, but I don't really mind about that, because I think maybe because we've got like a maker, and the Lennox is going to be like into his handiwork skills. I think they would maybe make a lot of their furniture, or that's my idea anyway. So hopefully, it doesn't really matter if the wood tones don't match so much. They just use what they've got available, I think, is the look we're going for here. The toddler's room is quite cute. We've got the window looking over the back garden, a little toddler bed, and obviously there is enough room there, so when they age up you could fit a full-size child's bed as well. They've got a little side table, and then a few activity things as well, because obviously you do want them to be able to build their skills up. A little potty. I think that was a doll's house, like the one that looks put together, like with cardboard and all sorts that you've got lying about your house. So they've made one. And I think that, again, fits in with this style of family. But I like the cute kind of colours of the toddler room, and I think this is probably the brightest room in the house, just because a lot of it is wood. But for this house, it just makes sense. There's not going to be a lot of painted walls and bright colours. It's more your wood tones and very natural feeling. So let me know what you think of this one. I really enjoyed building something a little bit different. Treehouse is, like I said, I think I've only ever built one other treehouse, so it was a little bit out of my scope of what I'm good at building. But I've had a go, and I had a look at a lot of reference images online to get some inspiration, and then just tried to use that in my own build. I know some things I would change, I think, if I went back, like the window for the loft. Looking back on it, I'm not keen on that. I think there's always things maybe you'd change about a build when you do them, but I don't know, that's maybe just my critical mind. I'm not sure, but overall I'm okay. I'm quite averagely happy with this one. Yeah, I really kind of wish I'd stuck to the open windows, but the wood was really not matching. I think it looked too light, and then the other swatches was too dark. So it was just more of a swatch thing on that window that I didn't stick with it, because I think that would have gone with this build more. But I just couldn't get the swatches to match up right. So I've gone with like the standard windows that I use in a lot of builds. Although I do switch some of those out, I think, for the slatted windows, which look like the air comes through, and I think that for a treehouse would be more suitable anyway. So I think I went for those in the end. I mean, obviously, practically, if you had a treehouse, you maybe wouldn't want the weather elements to come through your window, but it's The Sims, so it doesn't really matter. Again, we've got open doors at the back, so just an archway really, but you've got that feeling of bringing the outdoors in, and you've always got that airflow, and I think that's important. I love this cute little fireplace as well. We've got like the green little fireplace in the corner. It's a really cozy room, even though it's like it's an open plan, but it's really cozy, which I really love about like this room. So all the colour tones I've tried to keep quite neutral, but kind of outdoor inspired. So like greens and browns, beiges, quite neutral colours, but things that I think everything was tried to be nature inspired, or that's what I tried to do. I did put a TV in, but I didn't want to put like a modern one in because I just thought, I personally don't think this couple would be spending a lot of time watching TV. So it's there just in case you need it for skills, but really most of their time is going to be spent outdoors. The ceilings are wood. Yeah, everything really is tried to be wood. But yeah, I think, again, going back to it, I think your Sims in this build, they're going to spend most of their time outside of their house. So inside, you want enough for them to be able to go and get rest, cook a meal, although you could have a barbecue outside, so you're not necessarily going to use the kitchen that much. And obviously get away. If there's a storm or snow, you want them to be able to go inside, but again, you do want them to be spending the majority of the time outdoors and getting their skills built up out there. And then not only are you building the skills up, you're also fulfilling the needs of loving the outdoors. So everything is kind of centered around the outdoors. And then you've got this cozy environment where they can go and shelter from the elements when they need to. But it is basic, like it's not a luxurious place, but it doesn't need to be, I think. I think it's just got to have what they need and nothing more. So that's the route I've gone down for this build. And yeah, I do like to think of like a little bit of a backstory, because if they're moving into a treehouse, why would they choose a treehouse over like a traditional building? And so I think you need a little bit of a backstory as to why they would have a property like this, because it's unusual. It's not your typical family home. So I think it's important to think about things like that, and not just have like a computer and everything. You know, they're not that type of family, so they're going to build skills up in a different way. So the slatted windows are going in, and I think the glass does end up getting removed, because the problem when you overlay windows is you can kind of see it in different angles, and then that starts to bother me. So I think I do remove the glass eventually. But really, the glass would be a good idea because that would keep the elements out. But again, it's classed as a window, so it's fine. They work without the glass there. The bedroom, again, we've got green and brown for the bed. The colour did change in here. So I think we went for the green slats, or like a pale green, pale turquoise. I don't know what colour it is. A paley green slats and walls. So similar colour to the toddler's room. I kind of wish I'd kept that mainly wood, but maybe with one wall painted. I think that would have probably been better up there, actually. So I kind of regret that as well. But that's just kind of looking back and here, what would I change? What would I do differently? It's just one of those. But I would always change something. I'm kind of like that. There's always something that I can pick apart. So I would have probably just kept it wood up there. Just adding pillars so it looks realistic, so that you can kind of see the building is supported. Like I say, I do like them realistic features. I was looking for some kind of details to add on the roof as well, but I couldn't find anything that I thought would fit this build. And as you can see, the budget has gone down really quickly on this build, so I've only got like 16,000 simoleons left. So yeah, there's still quite a few items to add, and the budget's not huge, and we've not even really started on the back garden yet. And bearing in mind that they're both outdoorsy people, we need a bit of budget for that as well. But we've added a few flower details, so it looks really like nature's taken over this build as well. Nature's just included everywhere, and I think it just helps give this building some character. It's not your standard little building. It's a very at one with nature build. I love these little archways as well with the lights on. I think they're really cute. So I thought there was quite a nice little addition. And maybe once, if anybody does decide to use this, I think it'd be a really cool one to do where you like make it eco-friendly. So you can add, like, if you've got the eco lifestyle pack, you can add solar panels, and you can add the little wind turbines and stuff. And I think this build would be perfect for that, because why not make it self-sufficient? I like a type of off-the-grid type build. I think it would be really suitable for a challenge like that. So now we're just laying out some objects that the couple would probably use. I thought gardening would be a good one, a good skill for this couple. The handiwork table, or woodworking table, sorry, so that they can build skills up. And then there's a toddler area as well, so they can spend family time out there. And also there's going to be like a little fire pit as well, and so they can sit there and, yeah, have a glass of wine at the end of the day. I think that would be a cute area for them. I can't remember if I added like the wine making thing. Oh yeah, it's on the platform actually going up, so something is on there. It's not just a walkway. But yeah, I thought that would be, because the Talia is a maker, so I thought that would be quite a nice one, having the wine making one. So yeah, she's got that skill. And then we're just using the landscaping feature to paint areas rather than use tiling, because again, that saves on budget. But we do add a little bit of a platform, because I was just trying to give it a little bit more depth to the garden. So some of it is, I think it's only the handiwork table. I think the rest of it is just all on one level. And then obviously you've got the lake, so we're going to add some debug landscape into that shortly. But just trying to get all the painting in so that it looks more realistic and lived in. Adding shading around the edge of painted floors, it just makes it look a bit more worn and lived in. So I was going to do the gardening on the platform, but I didn't think there'd be enough room to get to all the plots, so I kept that on the floor level, and then they can be accessed from all the way around, so you can use all 4 slots on the gardening platforms there. The woodworking table, we actually sink that, I think, and then yeah, you have to step down to it, but yeah, that changes shortly. I didn't think it looked right raised up, so it ends up dropping. I don't know what the camera work's doing, so I apologise for that, because I do get motion sickness, so when it goes like that, that makes me feel a little bit icky. So yeah, I apologise. I don't know what I was doing with that crazy movement. And just adding a few more details to the inside. So a coat rack I thought would just make it feel more lived in. It's not something they can use, but I think all these features just add to it. I love like the little candles in the window. I think that's really cute. Probably not practical in a full wooden build, but they're all on stands, and yeah, hopefully it's safe. But yeah, the candle, I just think they look really cute. And I do think, because one of their things was loving clowns and fishing, they can go fishing. They've got a lake underneath their house, but I do think I added the clown picture somewhere at some point. I can't remember where, but I'm sure the clown picture does get added, so that's a tick. They've hit that one. Yeah, it was just a couple of things that I didn't do, like the splash pad. I could have probably, I don't know how much the splash pad is. It was maybe a cost thing, or maybe I just forgot. Possibly just forgot. That sounds like me. But the splash pad, I think I could have actually fit in this build. But then I would have sacrificed something else like the gardening or the woodworking table. So I'm kind of glad that I forgot about it, because I think those things are probably more practical than a splash pad. Although it could have probably fit around the side as well, but yeah, it would have looked a bit squashed in there. So I'm kind of glad I forgot about it. But it's not really the challenge. Like, the challenge is you're supposed to fit all of the things in. But anyway, I'm just glad that it gave me the idea to do a build that was different. So I'm just trying to justify my actions here. Just ignore me. So we've added the lights so it looks really cute on a night time as well. But as you can see, it still looks a little bit bare without all of the plants in. So this is where we've gone into the debug section, and we're just going to try and add as many plants, as many little shrubbery objects, anything that'll make it look kind of a bit overgrown. I want it to look as like they've not interfered with the nature aspect too much, because yeah, I think that's the point of somewhere like this. It wants to be as natural as possible, maybe a little bit tended to so it doesn't get out of control, but nature's first, not their needs. I think they would have to be very careful with the toddler near this lake, because obviously if you've only got the landscaping, you don't want your toddler going near the lake. So I think if in real life you would have to put some kind of barrier or fence up. But with the Sims, it's not to worry about. I've also added some plants and stuff inside the water, so that kind of looks like it's, over the years it's got moss or plants that have grown inside the water. So it doesn't just look like a brand new lake. And I think all of that just adds to the story as well. So they've respected the nature and they've grown with it rather than taken over it. This is where the wooden table got dropped down, and I think it looks better sunken into the ground than it did stepping up. I know it's a small difference, but I just thought it looked better with the what's it called, like the awning, is it an yeah, type of awning anyway over it. I thought it looked better sunken in. So yeah, it's just adding the finishing touches. We add some plants along the walkway, so I think it's quite a romantic looking build as well. I think it's somewhere that you could have as maybe a holiday place for Sims as well, because it's somewhere so different. I've used it just as a residential a lot, but I'm sure you could do it at a vacation house as well. So if you do want to download it, it'll be on my gallery, Simmer Hales. Please give this video a like, follow if you've enjoyed this. We'll be adding some more videos to Building Newcrest. I've also, I got inspired by a picture on the Sims group, and it was like an abandoned building. So I've made that in the game because I was really inspired by the picture. So I'm actually going to do a video of that before I carry on with the Newcrest series, just because I really enjoyed building an abandoned building. I haven't done one for a while, and it was really enjoyable to do. So I'm going to be sharing that as my next video, but then I will carry on with Building Newcrest after that. So we've got more videos to come in this series, but the next video that we'll be doing will be an abandoned building, and it's got like an underground area as well. It's really different, it's really fun, so hopefully you'll join me for that one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care everyone, bye bye.